Houston Texans have hired a new general manager in the form of Nick Caserio. In case you guys don't know who he is, he served as the Patriots director of player personnel ever since 2008 and have been working alongside Bill Belichick, the almighty coach, as the highest ranked staffer in the personnel department. And because of that, they won 3 Super Bowls and I think it was 11 AFC's titles, was it? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they had. I think it was 4 Super Bowl appearances, and they won 3 of them. He's the second. He's the second time the Texans requested. This is the second time the Texans requested to speak with Caserio. Last year, after the Texans fired Brian Gaine, they requested to speak to Caserio, but the Patriots then filed a tampering charge on the Texans, and the Texans CEO Cal McNair said that they would no longer pursue him, which ultimately turned out to be false. Casario is the second former Patriot executive to join the Texans front office, and the other one is the executive vice president of football operations, Jack Easterby, who spent 6 seasons as the Patriots character coach before the Texans hired him last year. And this was reported by Adam Schefter and written by Sarah Barshop. I'll start with you, Mario. What do you think of this?
Well, first of all, congratulations on Nick Caserio. I mean, being a general manager of the Houston Texans is, I believe, general manager, right?
Yeah, he's being a general manager.
Yeah, general manager of the Houston Texans. I mean, that is honestly, it's a very big accomplishment. I mean, the last general manager was help me out. I forgot his name. Oh my God, Bill
Manager,
O'Brien. Bill
yeah,
O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, it was Bill
Yeah,
O'Brien.
man.
But I mean, first of all, I mean, they expect big things out of them. And the reason why I feel like the Texans hire a lot of Patriot like former coaches and executives is because the Patriots have a way of over the years, the Patriots have a way of taking these players from like literally nowhere and turning them into studs. They
Yeah.
have a way of doing it. I mean, you look at everybody they had and everybody who went to different teams. Like you look at Kyle Van Noy, nobody heard of him
Mm-hmm.
until he started with the Patriots. You look at Edelman, when Edelman first stepped on the scene, I mean, he was a 7th round pick at a Kent State. I mean, nobody really heard of him. I'm trying to think. There's a lot more. Tom Brady obviously is one of them. Like they just have a way of taking these players, building them, and then making other teams interested in getting these players. And that's what the Patriots do so well. So they try to get, I feel like, as many executives and general managers that used to work for the Patriots to work for them, so they can kind of have that same experience when it comes to drafting people. Because obviously, I don't think the Patriots are really what you call like a big free agent team. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really hear them talk about getting big free agents. I mean, now since they lost Brady, you heard about like Cam Newton and like that year they got into last year when they got Antonio Brown. Yeah, that stuff is like big acquisitions for free agency. Oh, and Randy Moss back in I think like 2007. But other than that, like when do you hear about them? When do you hear about them getting big free agents? You really don't. It's not the way they like to
Right.
build their team. They take these rookies, they develop them for like 2 or 3 years, and then these rookies step on the scene. You're like, who the hell are these guys? And these guys end up turning into some of the best players in the league. So I mean, I think the Texans kind of want to repeat that. I think instead of them wanting to go to free agency and picking up guys, I feel like they want to start with a young core and build over that. Because the reason why I believe this is because Deshaun Watson is such a young player.
Yeah, right.
Offensively, that's who you build around. Defensively, that's still JJ Watt's team. But you also got to remember JJ Watt's probably got like a good 4 or 5 years left on him. But after that, you need to have some guy that you can build that team around. And I believe like Zach Cunningham is a very good young player. I think he led the league this year in tackles, which I think is absolutely incredible. So I mean, when you look at all these players, I feel like what the Texans are really trying to do is get these young players and produce them exactly the way the Patriots are doing it. And there's no better way to start than hiring former New England Patriots staff members.
Yeah, I agree, and I think well, I'll say this: I agree to disagree, I'm not saying that this was a bad acquisition. Don't get me wrong; this is a great acquisition, but I am very interested to see how this plays out. I'm going to tell you why. A lot of these Patriot disciples don't end up being as great as you think they are. Bill O'Brien is the perfect example of that. I believe he was the offensive coordinator for the Patriots. Then he came to Houston and he turned it into an absolute mess. Matt Patricia, another good example. defensive coordinator for the Patriots, goes to the Lions, messes that team up. There's a few more, but those are like the two most recent and obviously more famous ones. I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen here. I'm just interested to see how he plays out and if he'll end up being like Bill O'Brien or Matt Patricia. But Matt Patricia's a different story. He was just a head coach, unlike Bill O'Brien, who did both. Um, with that said, though, I'm sure he'll do a good job. I'm just really interested to see how it turns out. I'm sure he'll get a good offense around Deshaun Watson. Something Bill O'Brien undid by getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins, their star wide receiver. And, I don't know what else to say right there. I mean, I feel like the Texans are in the position right now because of Bill O'Brien. You can say he's not there anymore, but you got to be honest with you, man. You expected this mess coming when Bill O'Brien got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. That was the worst thing he could have ever did. And then, as a result, got a washed up David Johnson out of it and tried to justify it, and it just didn't go in his way. I think I will keep saying that until the mess gets fixed up. They're in the current position they are in because of Bill O'Brien, and I'm pretty sure Nick Caserio is not going to let that slide. He's going to fix this team up and turn them into a true competitor for the Super Bowl, and I can really see that moving forward. With that said, I think this is a great move by the Texans. I hope it works out in their favor. Because like I said, there have been some Patriot descendants that have become these types of executives or head coaches, and they didn't really do a good job. I don't think it's going to happen here, but you never know. We'll see. With that said, though, congratulations to Nick Caserio, becoming the new Texans general manager. I'm very excited to see how this goes.